resistance is futile.
Boldly going where no show has gone before. This is The Week in Geek with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Heard live on News Talk 99.5 WRNO and the iHeartRadio app. Here are your hosts, Brian Held and D. Squared.
Good evening. This is The Week in Geek, your source for geek and pop culture news that is trending now. I'm your host, D Squared, with
Brian Held.
Brian Held, how the hell are you, buddy?
I am fantastic, sir. Are you ready to lay out the show?
Yes. Tell us what we're doing today.
Well, guys, we're going to start off. We're going to do Top Nerd News. And next segment, we're going to have Skungy and his video game pick of the week. In the third segment, our guest is Alan Smale. He's the author of Eagle and Empire. It's book 3 of the Clash of Eagles trilogy.
And he's like super crazy smart, too.
He is.
I mean, like being an author is almost kind of like his hobby almost.
Oh, wow.
Well, he also does a cappella singing.
Nice.
He does.
That's cool.
He's a Renaissance man.
That's cool. And, of course, we're going to close out the show with This Week in Geek History and Celebrity Birthdays. So, you ready to get started, Dave?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
And now, your top nerd news stories from around the world. Brought to you by Kasha's Bazaar. Find them at 5727 Jefferson Highway. And now, our top nerd news stories.
All right, Brian. Well, you know what? I just came from the movie theater before I came here to the studios.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way to start off the show, right?
Yeah, what did you do this weekend? Anything fun? Did you go see a movie?
I actually saw it on Thursday night.
What movie did we see?
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Volume 2. I like how they did that, as if it was like a new album or something. You know?
Absolutely. Awesome mixtape volume number 2. Yeah.
All right. So, thoughts?
I thought it was a great movie. It didn't have that same fantastic punch like the first volume did, but it resonated on so many other levels, more emotional levels. It's really, you get to see the team bonding as a family, and I think it's an emotional movie.
Well, you know, I agree with that, but it seemed like they waited towards the end for that. They really didn't like club you over the head with like, you know, we're family. It was kind of sort of unspoken, like, you know, we're all buds and stuff. But I mean, you know, what I really enjoyed was like really the opening scene where they just had a lot of recurring jokes, and the jokes were well timed. You know, where they kept repeating. I forgot exactly what it was, but they kept repeating a little bit of a joke, and it just, they rolled it through the movie, and it wasn't like they didn't try to, you know, make the joke funny. They just let it happen organically, and they did that with a lot of things, you know.
Well, and I do find it interesting that I thought some of the jokes in funny parts that I saw in the trailers actually lost their effect when I saw it in the whole movie together. Like, I was like, yeah, I already seen that.
Yeah, but I mean, they didn't put a whole hell of a lot of it in there because, I mean, the movie it had a lot of funny parts to it. You know,
absolutely did. There was plenty of laugh out loud moments that I did chuckle out loud. You know,
I really loved Drax in this. Drax was, I mean, he almost stole the show. I mean, I really got to say, Batista. You know, I thought he was just a big roided out lunkhead, and this dude is funny. I mean, I'm not going to put him on par with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson yet. No. But he's getting there. You know, a few more good movies, and he might be able to give The Rock a run for his money.
Did you notice in the trailers there was that scene between Star-Lord and Drax, and they hug? Remember that scene?
Yeah, they didn't do that.
It's not in the movie.
Do you need a hug? Yeah, no, they did not do that.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, you know, some things just end up on the cutting room floor, and they just don't make the final cut. But, I mean, it was definitely worth the money I spent, and, you know, I'll definitely buy the DVD when it comes out, or I'll download it.
I have to say that Baby Groot is more than just a bid for merchandising.
He really is. I mean, it was really funny. I mean, you know, it wasn't just I mean, it wasn't like Ewoks.
And did you stay throughout the entire credits?
No, I left as soon as the movie was over because there's never any end credits.
I'm not going to spoil anything for people who haven't seen it, but what I wanted to mention is these credits were different. There was no kind of black background, white text deal. It's all throughout the entire deal. It's engaging all the way.
And you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
The end of the new Ghostbusters.
Really?
Because the end of the thing was all... you had to watch the Ghostbusters trailer. I mean, the credits all the way to the end because they had music going. They had funny little things on there.
Yeah.
And that's what this one did. Only one of them was really serious, but it was funny with, Groot.
Yeah, there was a cameo appearance in the credits. I don't know if you noticed it.
No, who?
The Game Master who's going to be in Thor Ragnarok is in the credits.
I missed it. Where?
Yeah.
Was it like a yearbook picture kind of thing? Was he in the scroll?
Yeah, he was on the right-hand side of the screen. He was in one of the circles, and it's Jeff Goldblum's character from Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, and I love the trailers before the movies.
We know each other. He's a friend from work.
That will never lose its I love it. That's the greatest line ever.
You know, watching the trailer again before Guardians of the Galaxy, I love the logo, dude. It screams the 1980s.
Oh, my God, yeah. It reeked of the 80s, and they even had a little Pac-Man nod, but it wasn't kind of like that flaming dumpster fire of the movie Pixels.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't like, here's the 80s, suck it up, eat it.
Right.
No, it was good.
All
right, moving on, Brian. Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman.
What about her?
Well, people, you and I have had this discussion before, how they were like, well, we haven't seen a whole lot from Wonder Woman, and sure is shooting, Brian. As soon as Thursday night is when I first saw the first Wonder Woman trailer start really, like, on every station, really rolling out. They did not want to try to go head-to-head with Guardians of the Galaxy, so now they're rolling out the trailers. The trailers are getting out there. This is where the rub comes, Brian.
Okay.
The merchandising.
Oh, what merchandising?
Well, you got Dr. Pepper.
Right.
And then you've got something else.
What, Think Thin?
No, well, there was something else, something ridiculous, but then Think Thin diet bars.
Right. Which I just think is ridiculous.
Why?
Well, because I understand the argument that it's putting a perception that, women who are going to go watch Wonder Woman or need to be on a diet or
that's not what they're saying. I mean, it's advertising dollars. Women, are going to want to go see a lead with a female superhero.
Right.
So you're hitting your target demo of females.
Are you saying all women need to go buy diet bars?
No, they're asking you to go buy a diet bar. They're not saying, "Hey, fatties, go buy a damn diet bar." They're saying, "Hey, you know what? If you're looking to join a gym, or you're looking for a new snack that's not Special K, like I eat cereal bars all the time here, being at the station at the butt crack of dawn."
I think the argument is that all of these major superhero movies, and this is a major superhero movie.
Well, there's no doubt about that,
right,
yes.
Are plastered everywhere, cereal boxes and, more trailers and inserted into Guardians of the Galaxy had a Hanes commercial. Really?
Well, yeah.
So, I just don't think
so. So do you want a Wonder Woman brassiere commercial? A sports bra commercial? This is my problem, though. People are going to bitch no matter what. That's the problem. It's like, okay, look, it's all about merchandising. If people aren't beating down the doors, they had, what was the bananas for Beauty and the Beast? You were telling me earlier about, the Darth Vader apples, the Yoda grapes. If they could put a label on it and put it out there, then they will. If all we're getting currently is Dr. Pepper and diet bars, well, then maybe that's something to do with the product, but not on them. Look, advertisers will advertise where they want.
You're saying that the product's not worth advertising?
I'm saying that people, there's a perception out there. There is a perception out there that this movie might be a flop because people like you bitch about DC all the time.
I have said more than once that I'm excited about this movie.
I'm excited to see it. Yeah. Okay. Well, great. But apparently you're in the minority apparently because if this is the problem with the argument though, Brian. This is the problem with the argument though. Are you trying to say that because there's not all this great merchandising out there that they're trying to sabotage their own damn movie? This movie is going to make or break Warner Brothers. You don't think if somebody was offering them Wonder Woman grapes and Wonder Woman sports bras, they wouldn't be all over that like stink on poo?
I'm just saying that you and I both understand the advertising gig.
Right.
And wait, hold on, let me get it out.
Okay.
And I don't think that there is enough. You've got to put stuff in front of people's faces all the time. And I don't think there's enough of it for Wonder Woman. Is all my argument is, right? That it's not an equivalent to what we've seen in the past for Batman versus Superman or whatever.
The movie comes out in, 3 more weeks now at this point?
Something like that.
You don't think there's going to be another push? You know what I mean? We're all, look, everybody's like, oh, we need more stuff. We need more stuff. Well, if people were throwing money at DC, well, then they would take it. It's not like they're going to try to sabotage their own damn product. I mean, here's the other thing that I'm upset about, though, too. Hold on. I mean, I'm going to let you finish.
All right.
I'm going to let you finish. This is the other thing I'm upset about is the fact that people are complaining about the diet bar issue. All right, well, you know what? What would not offend you? You know what I mean? If somebody's like, okay, they're going to sell Wonder Woman makeup. Oh, well, what? You're saying women have to wear makeup to be beautiful? People are taking this crap the wrong damn way. I mean, it's advertising. If they give them money, they'll put Wonder Woman's face on a grape.
All
okay?
Right. So you're saying DC is not pushing its product? Right.
No, I'm saying advertisers aren't coming to them enough. If advertising partnerships, that's how they work. Okay, if not enough people are coming up, they're going to take whoever. I mean, if Greyhound Bus comes up to Wonder Woman, they're going to be like, okay, yeah, we'll take your money. We'll slap her picture on the side of a bus.
We'll keep an eye on it in the coming weeks. How about
All right,
that?
you know what? Let's talk about something fun, like Free Comic Book Day.
Dude, thanks to the guys over at BSI Comics for having us over yesterday for Free Comic Book Day. We had a great time. Met a lot of fans.
We did.
Yeah, and Dave, who'd
have thought?
No, Dave, you got some free comics. What did you think?
I liked them a lot. They made me happy. No, actually, my favorite was the Star Trek one. It's a Mirror new run. It's a brand new comic, and so it was just kind of like giving you a feel. And the best part, it's Mirror, but the next gen.
Right.
So you got Picard, murdering people. You're convincing people to murder people. Data looks like he's all roided out with like interchangeable weapons on his arm. He looks like a bat android from G.I. Joe.
And that's the Axe body spray Picard that's on the cover, right? Because he's all sleeveless and everything. It's
because he's everybody looked roided out in that magazine.
Yeah.
Everybody apparently can bench press a bus in that universe now.
Oh yeah, but no, there's hey, Skungy can't call us. Oh, there he is.
What are you talking about? Come on.
So anyway, I thought I got Lady Mechanica. Okay. I got. What else? Secret Empire. We have to talk about Secret Empire, Dave. It fills in a hole between Secret Empire 0 and Secret Empire 1.
Right, so I didn't get to read that one. So, I mean, like in Secret Empire 0, this is the whole thing where Captain America is basically comes out as Hydra and he's trying to take over the world.
Right.
And in 1, which just came out a couple of weeks ago,
right.
They cut off all the superheroes in space, and then the rest of the superheroes that are left on Earth, they lock them all up in New York.
Right. They put this shroud over New York.
So what is this? I didn't get a chance to read it yet. So what happens? It's kind of like 0.5, right?
It's something, yeah. It's basically right as Cap has claimed Hydra for his own. He's now the head of Hydra, and he's rolling into New York, and all the superheroes are arrayed to oppose him. He basically says, look, you got a choice. You can either side with me and help me in my mission to, defend the world and make it a better place in the image of Hydra, or
right.
you could be my enemies. And Iron Man's like, that's no choice. And, of course, Hydra...
It's on!
Right. Hydra takes them all out, right?
So they beat the crap out of Iron Man and everybody?
Yes. Everybody gets dropped, right?
Nice.
And Thor is there. The Jane Foster Thor is there.
Oh, the new chick Thor.
Yes, she drops Mjolnir, and Cap picks it up. And that's...
The
Thor's hammer. Yeah.
Okay. Don't go using proper names. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
That's fine. But anyway, it ends on Cap holding aloft Thor's hammer. And
that means he's worthy. How can he be Hydra and be worthy? How can he be a Nazi and still be worthy?
Well, that's... just continuing to foment the controversy. People are kind of losing their minds.
So that begs the question, why did Marvel put out a statement just, roll with it, guys? Continue to buy the comic books. It's going to be okay.
Well, I think they were compelled to put that statement out because they're getting so much negative feedback from the community. I mean, people are enraged that they've taken this icon of true justice in the American way.
Let's not beat this dead horse. We all understand that people are upset about Cap and all that stuff. the only argument that makes any sense to me is the pocketbook argument, where they're talking about, I'm supposed to follow this story. I'm willing to follow this story, but not at the expense of almost $17 to $25 a month, because not only do you have to follow Captain America, Steve Rogers, you also have to follow Secret Empires or Hidden Empires, and then there's a couple of other like offshoots to follow the whole thing. So you're looking at $17 a month just to keep up with the story.
Right.
That's the only issue I have with that.
Well, and there's a lot of people, and we've mentioned it before, that have crossover fatigue. The Secret Empire is just a crossover to bring a bunch of titles together and force people to spend money, and people are kind of tired of it. So, I don't know. People are speaking with their pocketbooks. I've seen a lot of chatter about people like, I've closed my folder. I'm not.
Well, and you know what? More power to them. But, to get upset about the whole thing that, like, oh, how dare they do this to my childhood, et cetera, et cetera. Just, calm down. Just calm down. It's a comic book. It's going to get better. Everything always defaults. It's like everybody's first time reading a damn comic book.
Right.
It's like the cliffhanger on the end of like the A-Team. Nobody's going to die when the car flips over.
I do find it interesting that Image Comics has put a bump up in their sales, that they're doing much better now. That's a third contender,
well,
obviously.
Yeah. Image Comics, they've always been, the third, horse in the race. Well,
right.
maybe this will help them.
Maybe so.
But, hey, it is what it is. I don't see there's any reason to get all upset and bent out of shape about it. I stand my ground.
All right, fair enough.
All right, guys, you are listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. When we get back, we'll talk to our boy Skungy and his pick of the week. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you're leveling your home's foundation, do it right the first time. Call Cable Lock Foundation Repair. Don't call those guys that don't honor their warranties and they do sloppy work or just arrived in town. They may put on a good show, but they're not the guys you want handling your most precious possession, your home. Level your home with Cable Lock and do it once. Level your home with the other guys and, well, you'll be calling Cable Lock eventually anyway. So do it right from the start. Call Cable Lock Foundation Repair. 828-2223.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Tubby and Coos, Mid-City Bookshop at 631 North Carrollton, just off Orleans in Carrollton. Books, board games, and geeky t-shirts. Find them on the web at tubbyandcoos.com and sign up for their geekly newsletter. Tubby and Coos, more than books.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coos Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
In a New Orleans that never was and never will be, airships float high above the city while platoons of clockwork automatons patrol the streets below. In Storyville, pirates, streetwalkers, gamblers, and thieves prowl back alleys in search of their next mark. New Orleans by Gaslight, the premier anthology of locally written and locally produced steampunk poetry and fiction, all set in Victorian New Orleans. Buy it now, available in both paperback and Kindle versions at Amazon.com. New Orleans by Gaslight.
Kasha's Bazaar has an unconventional inventory for the discerning geek collector. Comic book-related collectibles, vintage New Orleans items, militaria, and plenty for your mundane friends. Kasha's Bazaar, 5727 Jefferson Highway, the Unflea Market.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com/shop.
Hey there, Gulf Coast. Hattiesburg's only comic book and pop culture convention, Southern Geek Fest, is coming May 20th and 21st to the Forest County Multipurpose Center. 2 days of comic books, cosplay, media guests, authors, vendors, and more. Southern Geek Fest has a huge lineup of guests, including Peyton Witch from Stranger Things and Don Teams from The Walking Dead. For tickets and more information, go to southerngeekfest.com. Southern Geek Fest. We'll see you there.
This is the Week in Geek with D Squared and Brian Held.
Outstanding.
Miss any of today's show? Download the Geek podcast at WRNO.com. Here are your hosts, D Squared and Brian Held.
Welcome back. You are listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. Brian.
Yes.
How you doing today?
Fantastic.
Are you? Don't lie to me. I don't like it when you lie to me.
Well, I think we need to get the Skungy, huh?
Yes.
I am not what you would call a handsome man.
Skungy's Pick of the Week is brought to you by GameStop and ThinkGeek.com.
Skungy's Pick of the Week.
He might be an idiot savant.
Skungy, what's shaking bacon?
What's going on, gentlemen, on this wonderful day? It's a beautiful day outside.
It is. All right, what are we talking about, Paleo Palamine?
We're talking about a game called Yooka-Laylee.
What?
Yeah, I know. It's a weird name. It's called Yooka-Laylee. Now, this is a game that was actually kickstarted a couple of years ago, and it's now finally coming out.
All right. So
what's it about?
Yeah.
That's such a weird name.
It is a weird name. It's a platformer, and it's basically the spiritual successor to a game that was made in the late 90s, early 2000s called Banjo-Kazooie.
I don't even remember
Banjo-Kazooie was
that a Sega game?
No, it was a Nintendo 64 game.
Okay.
It was made by Rare, and it was a very well-loved platformer. And that's what this game is. It is a platformer game. It feels like this game is 20 years old, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because one thing that's moved away from video games is the platforming genre.
Can you define platforming?
Platforming is the best way to describe platforming is like a Mario, a Spyro.
So a
where you're
side-scrolling
running
game?
It could be side-scrolling or it can be 3D, where you're running around jumping from platforms. They called it platformer because you used to jump from platform to platform, but it now is more a broad generalization of an open world where you're running around, you're collecting things, and you're trying to get to the end of the level, and sometimes you beat bosses and whatnot. But like Super Mario 64, all the Mario games, all the core Mario games are platformers.
Okay, that's fair.
They've moved away from that in the last, 10 years, 10, 15 years, because, shooters have become more popular and RPGs. But that core fun innocence of a platformer has been lacking. Well, that's what they did with this. Yooka-Laylee feels like it was made 15 years ago, and like I said, it's not a bad thing. You're playing this little chameleon with a bat on his back, and you're running around these levels collecting these pages, and you have to, do little tasks to, get more pages or like go on races or fight enemies, and it's a really fun game that's good for all ages, honestly.
No, that sounds cool. So, where's the setting? Is it like fantasy or sci-fi or?
Yeah, it's very fantasy world. Like it starts off where you're like on this little grassy little area, and they have this evil bee corporation who's trying to take all the books from the world. So you go to these fantasy looking locations, like a tropical location or a frozen location or water location, stuff like that. Good old classic platforming, like
cool
video game worlds.
Well, Skungy, what platforms and the price point is on this game?
The platforms are on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and it is only $39.99. That's the other thing. It's really cheap, and I'm a huge fan of the old Banjo-Kazooie games, so anybody who liked those games especially is going to feel right at home because it is technically a spiritual successor to those games.
You call $40 cheap? Are you rich? Do we pay you?
Well, I mean, but all the games that he talks about are usually $60.
Yeah, but last week you brought us some $20 games, though. Bring back more $20 games.
Now, hold on, Skungy. I got an important question. Since it was a Kickstarter, I mean, is it available in the traditional outlets, or do you have to go to Kickstarter to get it?
No. It's you got download codes for it if you were backed in on Kickstarter, but it has been, since they did so well on the Kickstarter, they were able to do a full retail release of it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Shit that.
Yeah.
All right, Skungy. Well, thank you as always. You are just the bee to my honey.
Oh.
Olive to my oil.
Oh.
Yeah,
the apple of the cream of your coffee?
Yeah, whatever. Get off the show. You're fired.
Yay.
Love you, Skungy.
Bye.
Why would you say you love it? Now you just make it awkward.
No, come on. Guys, we have our guest on the line. We're going to get to him right after these short commercial messages. We're going to hear from Alan Smale, author of Eagle and Empire from the Clash of Eagles Trilogy. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO.
Message and data rates may apply.
When did American men get so soft? Today's average red-blooded American man has less testosterone than his father, and his father has less testosterone than his father. Before we turn into a country of powder puffs, Force Factor is launching the Man Up America event. We want to send every man in America a complimentary bottle of the breakout supplement taking GNC by storm. Test X 180 Ignite, loaded with free testosterone-boosting manliness. Get your complimentary bottle by texting FUEL to 369-369. During workouts, Test X 180 Ignite raises levels of free testosterone in your body to help build lean muscle. Plus, it helps burn fat, fuel sexual desire, and improve performance. Now you can continue to feel like the real men that made this country great. Do yourself a favor. Do America a favor. Text FUEL to 369-369 for your complimentary bottle. That's a complimentary bottle by texting FUEL to 369-369.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com/shop.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coos Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
Tubby & Coos Mid-City Bookshop at 631 North Carrollton, just off Orleans and Carrollton. Books, board games, and geeky t-shirts. Find them on the web at tubbyandcoos.com and sign up for their geekly newsletter. Tubby & Coos, more than books.
Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, is now an audiobook read for you by Brian Held. It's a tale of a young girl from Tortuga who disguises herself as a boy and bluffs her way onto a pirate ship, chasing after her one true love, only to find adventure on the high seas. Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid is available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. Get your copy of Jezebel Johnston today.
Hey there, Gulf Coast. Hattiesburg's only comic book and pop culture convention, Southern Geek Fest, is coming May 20th and the 21st to the Forest County Multipurpose Center. 2 days of comic books, cosplay, media guests, authors, vendors, and more. Southern Geek Fest has a huge lineup of guests, including Peyton Witch from Stranger Things and Don Teams from The Walking Dead. For tickets and more information, go to southerngeekfest.com. Southern Geek Fest. We'll see you there.
When you're in need of pain relief, come to Need It Relief Massage Therapy. Kat is an experienced licensed massage therapist. Check out her website and book your session online now at massagetherapykm.com. Need It Relief Massage Therapy for some much needed relief.
Now, back to the Week in Geek with local celebrity, Brian Held, hashtag LCBH. Here are your hosts, local celebrity Brian Held, and that other guy, what's his name again?
Oh, welcome back, New Orleans. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. This is Brian with...
The other guy.
Yeah.
D squared.
Yes. All right, Dave, are you ready to get to our fantastic guest?
I absolutely am. So we want to welcome Dr. Alan Smale, author of Eagle and Empire. And Dr. Smale, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi.
Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much for having me on again.
So, look, it's a trilogy, and this is the final book in the trilogy. And just well done. That's all I really got to say. I mean, this book was really just phenomenal. So the Eagle and Empire series, I mean, the whole series is based on what if the Roman Empire survived to the year 1218. So how did they survive to the year 1218 in your world?
Okay, well, actually, the point of departure is way back in the 3rd century, the beginning of the 3rd century. There was an emperor called Caracalla who was very bloodthirsty and kind of a really second only to Caligula in the stakes of bad Roman emperors. He had a brother called Gaeta. So essentially the point of departure in these books assumes that there's actually this big civil war between Caracalla and Gaeta. And Gaeta comes out on top. And as a result, he manages to avoid the whole crisis of the 3rd century. So essentially, Rome gets itself on a much better footing instead of like tearing itself apart like it did in our real world.
Well, that's cool. So they actually survive. Now, the amount of work that goes into this series, I mean, so the Roman Empire begins to explore the world, and they go to this new continent, Nova Hesperia, which is basically North America, and they, in typical Roman fashion, they're just trying to take over the world and colonize the whole thing?
Yep, pretty much. They figure that there's gold and lapis lazuli there because they encountered a Norse longship that carried such cargo aboard. And in fact, that came from much further south, but the Romans don't realize this when they're... So essentially, they're moving into North America. They land at the Chesapeake Bay, and they're moving westward, looking for gold and glory in the way that Romans always do. And, of course, it doesn't go quite the way they anticipated when they meet the Iroquois and the Mississippian culture.
Right. Now, so most of this is based in Cahokia. Now, that's on what you call the Mississippi. Now, what is the Cahokian people, the mound builders? What tribe are they actually based on in real life?
In real life, Cahokia did exist. I think it's actually quite funny because about a third of the people I talk to at science fiction conventions think I invented it. But no, Cahokia really existed. It was the central city in the Mississippian culture. It was based in the area of where St. Louis is now. It was a city of 20,000 people. It was a mound-building culture, so we had platform mounds and ridge mounds and all that kind of stuff, maybe 120 mounds in the city. We don't actually know what historical tribes they were linked to, because none of the historical tribes we know about actually claim the Cahokian mounds as their own. But we believe that the people that lived on the mounds actually ended up becoming the Siouan tribes, like the Dakota and Lakota Sioux, and that's based on linguistic evidence and other types of evidence.
So now, in this first book, the Marcellinus, our main character, now he basically was, did not expect as stout a resistance from the Cahokians as he got, and then you introduced flying machines so early. I mean, was there any evidence to flying machines back, in those times, or is that something that you brought up?
No, not at all. Largely, I stay very true to the archaeological ground truth. In this one case, I took a little bit of a liberty, and so there's this fantasy element where I have the Native Americans of Cahokia. They have flying machines. They're essentially hang gliders. It's based very much on the height of hang glider technology now, except that it's built with sticks and skins and sinew. And so, in fact, those cultures, I was going to say Hesperian cultures, but that's my word. The Native American cultures of the Mississippi, they had a very strong, they were very much into birdmen and flying imagery and flying iconography. So obviously flight was very important to them in a mythological sense. And so what I did in these books was bring that out to make it actual pragmatic and realistic. They have this mound building culture, and I figured that why were they building these mounds if not to throw themselves off them?
That's brilliant. Here, let's build something really high. Now let's jump off it. Tape those wings on.
Yep.
So now, in the second book, when we last spoke with you, I couldn't really talk about how it ended on a cliffhanger, as it were. But in the dust jacket cover for this latest book, Genghis Khan has now invaded Nova Hesperia, and the two biggest boys on the block, the Mongol horde and the Roman Empire, are about to go toe-to-toe in a knockdown, drag-out fight. What possessed you to do that?
Well, when I have my alternate history, I think the Roman Empire expanded into Asia and really kind of held the Mongols back there. And so essentially the Mongols are now looking in the opposite direction to see where they can go. And they know that the Romans are very interested in the North American continent, and so they figure that they're going to go there too and oppose the Roman Empire there. It's actually kind of interesting that when I originally set the books in 1218 AD, it was really because of the Mississippian culture. And then I realized that the whole Mongol effort was taking place, that the whole Genghis Khan thing was happening at around the same time, and everything just kind of clicked in my mind at that point. And I realized how well that played together. So essentially, yes, the Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan, the horsemen of the Mongol horde, they go up the coast of Russia and down the coast of Western North America, and so they're invading from the west. Essentially, the Romans are coming in from the east with their legions, and the Mongols are coming in from the west. And essentially, there's going to be, it's clear from the dust jacket that there's going to be this big knockdown, drag-out fight, as you said, in the Great Plains of North America. And that's really a terrain that's going to favor the Mongols, because that's very similar to the Asian steppes where they come from.
Right. Well, we're visiting with Dr. Alan Smale, author of Eagle and Empire, which is coming out on May 16th, so not very long. Now, Dr. Smale, one thing that really struck me as I was reading the book, in this third and final book, you had a lot of river battles going on, and I just got to tip my hat to you for the amount of research you must have done, because some of these river battles, you even kind of talk about how the oars played a part of the battle. How much time did you spend between researching on naval battles and the Mongol horde and just, Roman history in all? How do you have all that spare time and be a doctor of astrophysics?
Yes, I certainly do spend a lot of time reading. I must have read something like 150 books when I was doing the research for this. And of course, for the naval battles, you have the ancient world naval battles, the Greeks and the Romans, and the Quinqueremes and all of that kind of stuff, and the kind of naval warfare that was taking place in the ancient world. And then, of course, there's all of the Mississippian culture stuff as well. There's the North American side of things and the Roman side. So, in fact, I really enjoyed it because I'm a history buff. But certainly there was a huge amount of reading that I had to do in addition to the writing.
Yeah, okay. Brian Held, my co-host, you got a question for Dr. Smale?
Yeah, first off, I just wanted to say that we got a pre-read copy, a review copy from Del Rey, and Dave read it because he's the big alternative history buff. And I wanted to ask you about that, Dr. Smale, about why alternate history? I mean, is there a goal, or are you just doing it to have fun exploring the what-ifs?
I really enjoy alternate history. I mean, I work at the Goddard Space Flight Center. I'm actually a research scientist. I study black holes and neutron stars and all these hard science fiction things. And so people are really surprised when they hear that I write alternate history, because they expect me to be writing Generation Starships or something. But I've actually been a history buff my whole life, and I really enjoy reading about that and thinking about that. And I think alternate history is quite important. I think it's fun to think about things that could have been. It's fun to realize that history is actually contingent in a lot of cases on some very kind of small things, just like our lives. There can be big consequences from relatively small decisions, and I think history is like that too. And it's fun to explore those possibilities and see where they take you. I really enjoyed writing the Clash of Eagles series.
And just for fun, any chance you're a historical wargamer?
Actually, no, I don't wargame. I don't have time for that in amongst all of the other stuff that I'm doing. I'm kind of interested in it, and I've read some things about that, like wargaming, and I've kind of read some analyses by wargamers, but I don't actually do it myself.
All right, that's fair.
So now you were recently close to us. We're based down here in New Orleans. You were in Memphis recently at what convention was that?
That was Mid-South-Con. That's a great convention, actually. Yes, I was down in Memphis at Mid-South-Con. I was actually nominated for an award there It's the Best Mid-South Novel Award, and that's because a lot of the scenes in Book 2, it was Regal in Exile, and a lot of the scenes in Book 2 actually take place in the geographic area that the award covers. So I was very flattered by that.
That worked out well.
Yes, I was very honored to be nominated, and it was a great con, and I met a lot of people. It was really nice. I probably wouldn't have gone to that con if I wasn't nominated, but I was really happy that I did because it was a great experience.
Well, we're going to have to make up an award and nominate you so you can come down to a convention down here on the Gulf South at some point.
Contraflow.
Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have mound builder cultures here down in Louisiana as well. So we're
right. Yes, it's all across the Southeast.
All right, well, we're visiting with Dr. Alan Smale. Once again, he's the author of Eagle and Empire. That book comes out May 16th. Well, Dr. Smale, where can we find you on social media, internet? Where can we find you and stalk you?
Okay, you can stalk me on Twitter. I am Alan Smale. That's ALANSMALE. And then again on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Alan Smale. I have a website as well, alansmale.com, as you might imagine. So I'm in all of those places, and the books are available on Amazon.com and all the other places where you'd expect to buy books.
All right, well, Dr. Smale, thank you so much for visiting with us. And once again, it was an amazing, amazing book, and I truly loved it. And I think all our listeners will like it as well. So thank you so much for joining us today.
And just hang on for 1 second. Guys, we're going to go to a break really quick, but stay tuned. When we get back, we're going to close out the show as we always do with This Week in Geek History. Stay tuned. You're listening to The Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO, the home for Walton and Johnson.
It was a well-paying job, respectable, wearing a suit and tie every day, but I drank 24/7. Drink on the way to work, drink at work.
I never could come to terms with admitting that I had an alcohol problem or a pill problem.
I decided to get clean, and so I went to the Narconon program. Not only did I handle my drug addiction, I completely knew how to live life.
Call Narconon today at 877-959-0098. That's 877-959-0098.
Hey there, Gulf Coast. Hattiesburg's only comic book and pop culture convention, Southern Geek Fest, is coming May 20th and 21st to the Forest County Multipurpose Center. 2 days of comic books, cosplay, media guests, authors, vendors, and more. Southern Geek Fest is a huge lineup of guests, including Peyton Witch from Stranger Things and Don Teams from The Walking Dead. For tickets and more information, go to southerngeekfest.com. Southern Geek Fest. We'll see you there.
Tubby & Coos, Mid-City Bookshop at 631 North Carrollton, just off Orleans in Carrollton. Books, board games, and geeky t-shirts. Find them on the web at tubbyandcoos.com and sign up for their geekly newsletter. Tubby & Coos, more than books.
Kasha's Bazaar, located at 5727 Jesson Highway across from Red, White, and Blue. Geeky collectibles and more. Find them on Facebook at facebook.com/Kasha's Bazaar. Kasha's Bazaar, 5727 Jesson Highway, the unflea market.
In a New Orleans that never was and never will be, airships float high above the city while platoons of clockwork automatons patrol the streets below. In Storyville, pirates, streetwalkers, gamblers, and thieves prowl back alleys in search of their next mark. New Orleans by Gaslight, the premier anthology of locally written and locally produced steampunk poetry and fiction, all set in Victorian New Orleans. Buy it now, available in both paperback and Kindle versions at Amazon.com. New Orleans by Gaslight.
Friends, is your morning tea just not your cup of tea? Then try the tea blends of Viridian Tea Company. At Viridian Tea Company, they sell blends guaranteed to make you think outside the box. With such blends as My Enemy's Tears, Goth Librarian, Cyberpunk, and many more, your tea experience will be out of this world. Look for the blends at Tubby & Coos Mid-City Bookshop, located at 631 North Carrollton, or on Etsy at Viridian Tea Company. Try Viridian Tea Company today. Your taste buds will thank you.
You've waited for it, and now it's here. Get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt and help support our show. These 100% cotton black t-shirts with the Week in Geek Radio Show logo are going fast. So don't wait. Go to twigradio.com and order your shirt now. Just go to twigradio.com/shop and get your very own Week in Geek Radio Show t-shirt. $15 up to XL, $17 for 2X and 3X. That's twigradio.com/shop.
NOLA Time Fest 5, June 3rd, 12 to 9 p.m. at the Jefferson Orleans North has everything for Doctor Who fans, artists, vendors, games, costume contests, time machines, and more. Saturday night's Chronopalooza 2 features Tuma Nick Cage, some Metry Guy, Futurenauts, and the New Orleans Steamcog Orchestra. NOLA Time Fest 5, June 3rd, 12 to 9 p.m. at the Jefferson Orleans North. Get discounted tickets now at nolatimefest.com. June 3rd is your appointment with the doctor.
Now, back to the Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO with David D. Squared and Brian Held. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Yeah, you'll definitely want to tell your enemies.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Week in Geek on News Talk 99.5 WRNO. Brian, we're in the home stretch, buddy. We're almost done. Is there anything... You know what? I feel remiss if we don't mention this. As always, we want to strongly urge you to check out our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/The Week in Geek. Check out our website at twigradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twigradio and the Instagrams at The Week in Geek. Now, Brian, how can people listen to this lovely show?
Well, if you missed any part of tonight's show or you want to hear your favorite part again, you can catch us on Spreaker.com or download Spreaker for your smartphone or tablet. You can also catch us on iTunes, YouTube, the iHeartRadio app, and at WRNO.iHeart.com.
We really need to start, doing the whole Facebook Live and Periscope thing, because every time you were saying something, your hands were, going up in the air.
Yeah.
And it looked funny. You looked like all of a sudden you looked Italian. Hey, come on. I got to tell you about the podcast. Oh, mamma mia. That's a spicy podcast.
Yes.
Hey, so did we miss anything in Top Nerd News at that?
There was one thing that I did want to mention, and this is just for you, Dave.
Why am I going to? I feel I'm not going to like this.
Well, because now Babylon 5 is available to stream for free in the United States. Yeah, if you go to go90.com, it's part of Verizon Media is what the site was saying. But yeah, I was actually, before we got into the studio, I was watching episode to make sure it worked out.
You're Mr. Buy the book, buy the numbers. Are you telling people to go look at some bootleg site?
This came from Straczynski's site. That they were reporting it.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't own it.
Well, no, but I mean, I don't think he'd be promoting pirates.
You never know. He might like pirates.
It looked legit
Alan Smale,
to me.
he likes Romans.
My initial cursory glance at the site looked legit. They had the Sarah Connor Chronicles on there. They had a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
ESPN for you sports types.
Right.
So
do they have American Gods?
No, actually. Dude, American Gods came out last week.
I know. How is it, man?
Okay, so I'm completely engrossed. And
ew. That means that's good?
Yes,
you like it?
I want to know more because I have a ton of questions.
Would you like to know more?
And no answers. But I'm intrigued. It's really good, and it's funny because my wife, our librarian, has read the book. She understands everything that's happening, and she wants to tell me so bad what's going on when I have questions. And I'm like, I'm asking these questions kind of rhetorically. I don't want you to answer. I'm just, kind of.
So is it one of those things where you really need to read the book to watch the damn show?
No,
because that would really upset me.
No, because the movie or the TV is taking place from the perspective of the main character, and he himself is very confused as to what's happening. He was in prison. Right. He's been released. Okay. Right. His wife was killed in a car accident.
So I mean, it's done on purpose.
Yeah.
Then. Okay.
Yeah. No.
All right. Well, you're making it sound like even they don't know what's going on.
No.
What kind of crazy show is this?
Oh, there's people in here that know what's going on. They just ain't telling you.
All right.
And it's definitely mature. You're not for the kids.
Is there nudity?
There is some nudity.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
I'm watching it.
All right.
All right. Let's do This Week in Geek History.
All right.
This Week in Geek History.
We're sending you back to the future! Yes! Oh my God!
This Week in Geek History is brought to you by Jezebel Johnston, Devil's Handmaid by Nancy Hansen, read by Brian Held. Available on Amazon, Audible, and iTunes. This Week in Geek History.
Yes! Oh my God!
Da-na-na. Da-na-na.
All right. On the heels of that American Gods announcement, on May 1st, 1990...
Oopsie, I didn't wait. Oh, well, whatever.
All right. Neil Gaiman publishes his very first novel, Good Omens. It was a collaboration with Discworld author Terry Pratchett.
Yeah, Terry Pratchett.
Yeah.
That was his first published novel?
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, okay then.
That's why we have this stuff on the show.
Oh, yeah. I hate your face.
Are you ready for the next one?
Yes, I am.
All right. May 2nd, 2008. Sees the release of Jon Favreau's Iron Man, the original one. And it is, of course, the first movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
It is the one that set the tone, and it really decided whether or not Marvel was going to actually make more movies. Because they put a lot of eggs in that basket, man.
Did.
I mean, if it would have crapped the bed, you might not have all these movies that you so love without the thought of, dissension in your ranks.
Well, thankfully, he did a good job.
Every Marvel movie is a gem. I love them all. I own the complete library. I watch them on every holiday.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
May 3rd, 1978. You're going to like this one, Dave. The very first spam email is sent by a Digital Equipment Corporation marketing rep to every ARPANET address on the West Coast. So that was the first time that we saw spam, was way back in 1978.
Well, that was nice. Was it for a diet bar or something? Or grapes?
I'm sure it was like computer programs or something, but
I'm going to bet dollars that it was probably like a porn thing.
No, it was. It looks like it was probably legit.
I have a friend in Africa. Me need $1 million to free up $10 million.
We hadn't gotten Nigerian Prince emails yet. So.
No, I want some of those.
All right. Next on the list, May 4th, 1998. The very first strip of the popular webcomic PvP is posted online. Yeah. No, and I read a lot of those early ones. I haven't kept up in a while, but I enjoyed the heck out of it. That was a good series.
Yeah, it was fun.
So you should like the next one. May 5th, 1992. id Software Incorporated releases the original Wolfenstein 3D.
Schultz!
Yeah.
Wolfenstein!
Yeah, and that came out a year before Doom came out. Yeah, this was the first one. It set the tone for kind of that first-person shooter genre.
And the cool part was like the hidden doors. Like I would literally go up every single corridor just hitting the space bar, hoping that I would find a secret door that had more guns, because it was really hard to find bullets in Wolfenstein.
Oh, I'll bet. All right, last one on my list. It's one you got to guess. May 7th, 1997. This movie came out starring Bruce Willis, Gary Oldman, Chris Tucker, and
Fifth Element.
There you go, Mila Jovovich. Yes,
Super Green.
Super Green. All right,
Lilo Dallas Multipass.
Any birthdays?
Anybody cool?
The Rock on the 2nd.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Michael Palin on the 5th. George Clooney on the 6th, and Adrian Palacki on the 6th also. So
well, okay. All right, Brian. So next week we have Jeremy London on the show.
Yes.
He's a guest at Southern Geek Fest, where we will be when?
On
that weekend?
21st, 22nd is when we're going to be at Southern Geek Fest. And yeah, he's coming on. He's going to be talking about his new movie, Blood Country.
That sounds, is that like a vampire movie?
It's like a Western type deal. Yeah. So, and of course, he's going to talk about his appearance there. So, we're also going to be at the weekend after that. We're going to be at MobyCon.
That's right.
And that's out in Mobile. And then the weekend after that, of course, is Time Fest. So, a lot of stuff coming up.
I know, a lot of stuff. All right, so guys, as always, check out the Facebook page, like us on Instagram, and all that other jazz. Brian, here's a little song for you. It's your boy Instalock, Can't Stop the Healing.
Oh, nice. Very good.
I like this ditty. I'm not going to admit it, because it's a Justin Timberlake song.
It is.
Here you go.
I can't stop playing Overwatch.
That's because you have a problem.
I do.
The first step is admitting it. So you're halfway there, pal.
There you go.
All right, guys. Till next time, keep your nerd flag raised high.
GFL.
New home for Walton and Johnson. News Talk 99.5 WRNO FM, New Orleans, an iHeart radio station.